All right, what's up?
Killer West, episode 19. We chilling, we here, and we are live, baby. And it's been a jam-packed week. And it's
There was some
great topics. It's some very small but nice topics to update everybody.
but something came out just yesterday, which was just
Two
crazy.
things that caught everybody off guard. And a lot of people started talking all about it. And that's going to be our first topic here. But before I go, I'm going to go ahead and say, make sure you tune in, subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in and subscribing to our podcast, because without you, this wouldn't even be possible. We're here to give you some news, easy, digestible news, weekly basis of the gaming world. You go see IGN, you go see GameSpot, and you see templates ahead, but we want to dive in deep in an easier way to do so. So again, thank you guys for viewing, showing support, comments, negative or positive, as well as subscribers. So make sure you hit that notification bell when we are online at 7:30 p.m. Fridays. Anything changes, of course, you'll let us know. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. We see our live streams as well. Check out the ticker in the very bottom. That shows all of our handles and all of our pages as well. I will let you know, guys, there is a severe thunderstorm around our area, so if we randomly disconnect,
Sorry.
we probably won't go on after, because the power will probably be going out. It's very random, very fast, but that's just Mother Nature telling us, not today. Not today. So just so you guys know. Anywho, let's go and put this image up real quick here to speak on the latest news that has came out. Got Twitter in a frenzy. Got everybody looking at everybody like, oh my God, what's happening? And I can't, damn, do I even got the image here? Oh no, because I'm at the wrong folder here.
I was about to say, you should know. I know you have it.
Got it. And let's get it going.
So right now, of course, just randomly announced yesterday. It's been rumored for a while, but
we didn't think it was going to happen.
it was going to happen, but it just happened. So Valve, Steam, decided to release their, I guess what you could call their competition to the Switch, called the Steam Deck. DECK.
What a name.
I know.
It's more of a significance because the deck, as far as audio is concerned, you got your I forgot. It's a studio deck, but it's like for meters and all that stuff. It's got a lot of things you could do with it. And a lot of things you can connect to, use, and all that. Pro Tools and meters and sound and all that stuff. So that's like I forgot the actual name. It's like a multi-something deck or something. But I like the name. I like it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's pretty much their handheld machine, their handheld gaming system, and it's going to have pretty much most things, we'll explain later, most things on your Steam that you'll be able to play on the go. So instead of having all your games, because Steam, everyone knows what Steam is. It's a huge website type of place that you'll be able to download a bunch of games, indies, AAA titles. Think of a title, it's on Steam. Pretty much if it came on PC, it's most likely on Steam. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to play those games handheld now. Because pretty much anything that's in your Steam library, you'll be able to play handheld.
Now, do we know any exact specs of what's holding, or we just know the actual design, which is above right there, as you guys can see? Is it, am I putting? Nope, right here.
So the specs on this, it's going to be AMD.
Okay.
So it's not going to be Intel or anything. It's going to be AMD.
Yep.
They're going to be using Linksys.
Which is a problem.
Linux. It's not Linksys. Linux.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which we will explain how it's kind of a problem so far.
Exactly.
We don't know if it's going to be a major problem. But.
And they'll be using, it's what they have, it's called, I think it's like Zen 2 plus RDNA 2 processor in there, which basically lets it run the latest in AAA titles and all that. It will be able to run like Assassin's Creed.
So for a little bastard, it's pretty much saying it's got balls. Bigger balls than the Switch.
And it has 12 gigabytes of RAM in the system.
Damn.
Just in it. It's 12.
It's like
12, no, 16, sorry.
They put it out in the Nintendo Switch format, but competing directly to the smartphone sector based on what output they can put out.
Exactly.
But the fact that they can put it out for for everything on Steam to be readily available right off the bat.
Exactly. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
And they're going to have 3 different tiers. The first tier is going to be 64 gigabyte internal memories, which luckily for these, you're able to get an SD card, like the SD Lightning card. You can add it to it, so you can add space to it if you want to. So they have the 64 gig, the 256 gig, and
256 or 228?
56.
156 gigabytes or 128?
No, there's no 128. There's 64.
Yeah.
Then 256.
Oh,
and then
I thought you said
512.
156. You sure you didn't say 156? Oh, that's where you freaked me all out.
I said 256.
Because it's usually double. I'm like, 156.
It's
Where did they
weird.
get that
It's
number?
weird. It goes from
And the only-
64.
I swear
and then
you said one, but
automatically-
all right,
Then it automatically goes straight to 256. Then it goes to 512.
Okay, so, okay, all right.
So with the 64, obviously that's the base set. That's the basic model. $400, $399.99, but $400 basically. And then they have the 256, which is going to be $529.99. And then they have the 512 gigabyte, which that one will be $650. Remember, these are very powerful machines, so the price, I get why they are what they are.
Now let's talk about where are they seeing the market?
So this
Like-
is the thing.
Like where? Okay, because the way a lot of people are talking about this and how they're perceiving it. The first thing people are saying, "Oh, it's a new handheld, so it's going to compete with the Switch."
That's not the case.
But that's not the case.
That is not
the case at all. So my thing is, how are they going to market this to get them to get? Because they're going to get their core fan base, those that understand what they could do with the Linux platform, as well as know how to operate remotely on the PC. But for the general consumer, how could they make it approachable with those price points?
Well, that's the thing. Unless you have a lot of Steam games or going to get a lot of Steam games, because the good thing about Steam is they have pretty much a ton of games.
Yeah.
Like a ton of, like, there's no amount of games they have on Steam. There's so much games. Like literally games that were on like Xbox, on the PlayStation,
And those,
even
so
on
I can
Nintendo
widen it even
systems
more for
and
you guys,
stuff
just
like
to
that.
show you how the actual design of the, I was going to say
Of the
controller, but of the system itself.
I hate the button placements. I hate it so much.
And it's funny because now I'm looking at it, and when you said it, I looked at it and said, all right, cool, it's just another, and then I'm looking at the buttons, I'm like, damn.
It's all the way at the top.
But that B is stretching.
Yeah, it's like the screen is 7 inches,
Yeah.
which is about the same size as the new OLED Switch screen.
So it's the same size
But
of the OLED screen,
the thing is,
but the controls are there.
and the little touchpad, that's the touchpad, so like kind of
Right
like the
next to
mouse
it.
thing. It's like the mouse type of thing.
Okay.
So, but
So
the
it has
thing
two
is,
touch. I think they wanted more of the touchpad
but Tony,
to be the main controller.
but I just,
You know what I mean?
the way it's above there though, I hate that so much. It's like, because it's I have to literally like hold it like this, like kind of like a weird way in order to like read, because I don't have big ass thumbs. I don't have big ass fingers that way like like I can't do that. It's like it's not gonna work like that. I wonder how that trackpad's gonna work though. That's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
how that works. They're trying to keep it because PC, of course, is that for with like mouse things like that. So I guess they're using that as their try to reach the PC game who uses the mouses and stuff like that. Which it'll be interesting how that's going to play out. I'm kind of curious about how that will work. But it has the typical like D-pad, like the little like what's he call that? Not D-pads. The triggers and stuff like
Okay,
that. So
yeah.
they have that. So I'm assuming that, for shooters or things like
Yeah.
that, it'll probably work for that. Like, other than that, it has a bevel, so it looks decent. Of course, we don't know how, to tell, but it looks like it's going to be a very hefty machine.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very hefty machine, so I don't know how heavy it's going to be.
Yeah,
It's
and-
definitely going to be a lot more heavy than a Switch. I
It
know
is.
that for sure.
And to think that it's a very straight competitor to the Switch. It's because it's another mobile device.
Exactly.
That's not a phone. Will be to the masses. That is directly looked at as a competitor to the Switch. But I don't think it's going to be like that.
It's not good. I don't think it's going to sell as well, like very popular, like your mom is not going to buy it. Your mom will buy a Switch, but your mom will not buy.
Yeah, and the thing is, the mom will buy
Switch.
it, and they kind of realize it's not what it's supposed to be. Then in return, they get a Switch. You
It's
know
pretty.
what I'm saying?
It's pretty much like it'll have games. It has a lot of games.
Oh, got a crap ton of games.
And Steam
even Tim
has
Sweeney
sales.
from Epic Games congratulated the move.
Of course,
and
it was
here's
good.
why I said that, because he put it out there because for one, competition against Nintendo.
Of course.
Fine. But now it's an open platform of the actual OS. You are allowed to uninstall that OS
And put it in
and
Windows.
put in Windows if you wanted
Because
to.
if you do that, then you can have Epic work. Because the Epic Store will not work with its current thing.
But some of the games that Steam has through Epic Fortnite, right? They have it on Steam.
Is Fortnite on Steam? I never
Could be.
played
Could
Fortnite,
be.
so I'm not sure if it is or not.
But with that, they have that leverage to be open source. And Tim was like, "Yes, I love it. It's great.
Open source
be
is
open
good.
source, because that's a stab to Apple,
Of
not
course.
to Google, because Google's open source, but stab to Apple."
Of course, because
So I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I learned that you can install Windows if you wanted to, obviously for your own risk, but that's a lot of money you're paying for. Yes, iPhones are the same thing. You pay a lot for it too, but it's a phone as well. I get it. That's a whole nother realm.
that's a realm.
And
Like, you're
Android's the
thinking-
same way, but they have their own fragmented OS. This one, I don't think it's going to be fragmented. I think what it is you take it out and then you put in an OS if you want to, and then go ahead and reinstall it. However,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
So that is awesome. But it now kind of leads to what we're going to talk about.
Which is the situation that because this is Linux,
And could be remedied. They just got to figure out a way.
they're in the process of trying to fix it. But because of Linux, they use a program called Proton, which is pretty much a kind of program that's used so games that are normally not on Linux will be able to play on Linux.
Okay.
It's kind of like a shortcut way, because if they didn't have this, all these companies have to make games for Linux. Because most of these companies make games for Windows
So this
and
is
sometimes Macs.
So this is an
Mac for
OS
Macs.
called Proton, powered by Linux, that bridges developers to port games to Linux by using that OS Proton. Because I seen
Basically,
it as
they don't have to build. They don't have to
they
rebuild
just
the game.
make the game, port it with Proton, make whatever, and boom, put it out.
Now the issue with that is obviously it's not 100%. There are some games, Destiny 2, League of Legends. Yeah, no, not League of Legends. Apex Legends, PUBG, and Rainbow Six Siege. You know, the big titles.
Yeah.
Due to their anti-cheating software that's inside their games, it doesn't work with Proton. Basically,
not.
it automatically crashes it and stops it, and it just shuts
So
down.
they need to make a bypass to allow third-party anti-cheating software
to work
to run on
with
Proton.
Exactly.
And they can figure it out.
They can.
But
They
we
got
don't know.
time.
At least they're disclosing it.
They're doing it right away,
But
which is
this
good.
This is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is an easy way to bridge a PC gamer to a Switch connoisseur. Like
Well, this is why
this
I'm
makes
getting
PC
it, because
mobile personally, because they tried to do Steam Link in the app on the TV, and apparently it's cool, but it's only local in your house. And then there's
Exactly.
ways that you could beat around the bush and go about.
Of course,
and I will
there's ways
say
to do it.
using what's called the Rainway was another one too. You can get your Steam
Mm-hmm.
library from Rainway. Use Rainway on your phone and dive into.
and that was your way to do it.
And that was your way
like,
to do it. You know.
mobile too, right there.
So that's cool, but they needed something that would make it easier to bridge the gap.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. The pricing, I'm not really a fan of. I'm gonna say that because of the control scheme, it doesn't look good.
but for the power it has,
But
I
for the
can
availability
understand.
and the power,
The
I
thing
get it.
is, with
I don't know about understand.
but I'll tell you one thing. The guy who owns Gabe, I think his name is. He's the one who owns Valve.
Valve, yeah.
He's the one who's saying he's not the biggest fan because currently, right now, they're selling the system at a loss.
Every system's like that, though.
But they're saying it straight out. It's a real big loss for them.
Oh, jeez.
But they're willing to do it because of, with Steam, the amount of people who buy games and stuff like that. Because Steam has sales all the freaking time.
Yeah.
And they have so much games on there that's like, it's crazy the amount they have.
So they take it a big.
They take a big loss on this.
And I think they can take it.
They can, because they make so much money.
They make so much money, and it is a good staple of a PC. It's nowhere like they have
So they
to
can take
announce
it.
Steam, so they can take it.
They can take
I
it.
hope it's very successful, and maybe the
I'm
process.
hoping so, too.
Okay, so here's my thing with the controls, the actual system itself. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is because this is the first ever big company, not like Nintendo though, but it's a big company that's pushing their catalog of games that PC is used to put them into the portability arena that looks, and if you want to say looks, meaning it's equivalent as far as the mobility versus a phone, equivalent to Nintendo Switch, Nintendo's going to go and sue Valve because of this. And I
It
mentioned
looks
this,
a little different,
but I
though.
mentioned this too outlandish.
Yeah, I remember.
Your
Yeah,
finger, if you could.
you did. I remember. I was
mentioned this.
thinking about it.
And if you could look at the design,
I'm not sure though.
they could attack them, right? They could attack them and say, you are confusing the general public of what availability of games due to your openness of your OS and your market of games versus the Switch. Okay, you're using the gullible tactic in court, fine. But I think the way they're going to skate away from this is the design, because they're mainly going to talk, because any handheld, I mean, if Nintendo was sensitive, they could be suing every single manufacturer of phones.
And they haven't.
And they haven't, because of course it's a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
This is not labeled as a phone. It's not even a tablet. It's a general system. How are they going to label it? I don't get it. Are they going to say that's a console? We don't know.
Well, the thing is, too, the reason why the Nintendo might say something, too, but this is also going to have a dock that's going to be sold separately. They haven't set the price on it yet.
And I wonder why it's sold separately. Don't you think?
It's going to be sold separately, and they haven't set a price on that yet.
Yeah.
But that's going to make it similar to a Switch. That means you can
Yeah.
connect it to your TV and be able to play your thing right on the TV.
But here's why I say that they can't attack them quickly, because if they did it with the Switch, that if they bundled it with the dock like normal, that could have been a cause of confusion. They would have put an injunction and stopped sales.
Separate.
But now they're doing it separate. Now the only argument is it looks similar. What? Because you're the only one that has an actual system, a portable device that is not a mobile phone or a tablet, and you're the only one that can have it?
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. But the way they won the argument is the design, the screen. They're not detachable. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason why you said that they're focusing more of the motions of the mouse and keyboard type of feel on the actual pads, and then there's the D-pad and then there's the joysticks. They can't have it detached like Joy-Cons because they'll get sued. Mm-hmm. So it has to be. They have to do it like that. Reminds you of the that mobile Nokia. What was it called that they released? It was hot, but I knew that it wasn't going to sell well. It was their mobile device that literally looked like a console. It was by Nokia.
Oh, Engage?
Engage.
The one that can't. That thing that you freaking looks like a fucking taco.
Yes.
And then when you try to talk on the phone, you literally putting a taco to your head.
Well,
it looks stupid.
But now we put an iPhone to our head, and it looks like a whole huge chocolate bar, depending on what kind of cover you have. There's Bluetooth, there's AirPods, but there's a high number of customers, a high number of citizens, high number of humans that put the whole phablet into your phone. But the Engage was ugly, but they're pitched to bring out a video game-centric device as a mobile phone. Didn't catch, Nintendo didn't sue, and they were gone. This Steam Deck is going to be the mobile-ish compared to Nintendo Switch, but it won't be pitched as a Nintendo Switch competitor because it doesn't sell a dock, doesn't have first-party titles, doesn't have its own studio. It's just it's literally a company selling third-party titles from your owned PC on good hardware with bigger space.
So now I'll explain.
So it's not a Nintendo Direct competition.
It's not.
But it makes them a little bit worried. I'm not really. I mean,
I want to
Nintendo's
say
Nintendo.
because Nintendo has their exclusive titles that no other system will ever have.
Yeah.
Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Legend of Zelda. It'll have a Metroid. It'll have all those that no other system will have. Mm-hmm. Now, they started to do the pre-orders, which they started today around 1 p.m. I was able to pre-order one. It was difficult, but it wasn't as hard as it was the PS5. I was actually able to get it. Now, the way that they're doing their tier systems, I noticed this when I got the email about it. So pretty much, it's supposed to be released in December. They didn't give an exact date, but it's supposed to be released in December. But the longer the pre-orders are out there, the longer the dates are out there. For when it started, it was going to be all December, and then the 512 gig version was going to come out Q1. Then things started to move that now the first two are going to be coming out Q1, and then the last one would come out Q2. And then they started going, move to Q2, and then these to Q3. So pretty much I think what they're doing is, so they don't make all of it at once and everyone gets a chance to get it and have it reserved and everything, that they're releasing it in steps. So then everyone that came out in December who was able to be first in line and grab that thing will get it in December. I unfortunately couldn't get it at that time. I kind of got a little after, so I'm getting mine Q1 of next year, which is fine.
So it seems like it's like an iPhone release, where certain models now with iPhones, when a certain model is released, then the bigger model comes out later. But because they're big wigs on a worldwide scale, they have to have at least 2 dates. Whereas Steam, those that really, really want it will get it and lock it down, but they're putting it in waves. So then by next year, in the middle of next year, it should be readily available. Maybe.
Hopefully, we'll see how
They'll
it
judge
works.
by the demand, because if they get the first round, the first round's popping.
And the good thing about pre-orders too, what I loved what they did, was the people who was only able to pre-order it are people who had Steam for at least like a year or something like that, and you have purchased Steam games before. So they're giving it to people who actually will play it.
Huh. Which is another direct way of saying it's not really competing with Nintendo, because they're going by whoever uses the ecosystem to be the first dibs, kind of.
And then
it's going to come out in waves, so it's not like it's going to be worldwide release. It's those that actually utilize the service.
And then next Sunday, or the Sunday after that, they're going to do another pre-order for everyone else. So you don't have to have a Steam thing to pre-order it. Mm-hmm. So they'll be doing that. And I'm assuming those will be coming right after everyone who got Steam stuff gets there first. So those people will probably get theirs like sometime middle of next year or something.
Okay.
So they have that. So that's how they... So they separated to make sure that people who actually want it get it first.
Which is understandable.
It is understandable.
I wish PS5 did the same thing for us.
I wish. It took a little while to get ours.
I wish you did. Consistently.
We did, which is good, but at least...
We got the system. We had to get it by the means, Sony. We wanted to get it through, PS5 Direct.
But no.
Because we had the PlayStation Network, and we've been loyal customers.
Very loyal customers.
Paying.
We've been playing PlayStation since the first one.
Yes. And we've been
1997.
Yes. Hold on. Say that one more time.
1997. Since we got our first PlayStation, and we've been loyal since.
And you see them head bobs? You see the head bobs? Yeah, I'm doing it too. Because it happens.
Loyal.
We are loyal. And you're going to sit here and not give me an email. We have issues. PS5 Direct was an email, and you had an hour to just hang out in the little web browser and click whatever you wanted, and then you got your little PS5. I know one person that went through that process smooth.
Oh, yeah, it was...
Vinny the Rage's brother.
Allie, yeah. He got it. Lucky.
Motherfucker, man. Lucky motherfucker.
Lucky bitch. Yeah. Lucky bitch.
That was supposed to be good for all those that had a PS5 or had the PlayStation Network and all that. No. You just didn't want to do it.
No, we just
didn't want to do it.
We had to go through the long-ass hard way.
I think I prepaid on the Sony platform, PlayStation Network, to like 2 years. Shouts out to GameStop. Y'all hooked me up. I'm just saying. Okay. So now, let's go to another topic here. And we're going to talk about the competition here, Stadia. Okay? Twitter going back and forth, just discussing about how Stadia is now reaching to gain market share. Reaching. And what I'm trying to say is they are launching initiatives to try to entice developers by ways of splitting revenue and income to those that dive in to the Stadia ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And let me bring it up. I think it's for titles that are released.
So pretty much, yeah, for titles that are released,
Stadia is introducing a 70% revenue share for pro subscriptions. So those that have pro subscriptions of all monthly revenue, courtesy, who is this feed from here? Bear with me. Let me bring that up here. Courtesy of GameSpot. I'm going to read this. Is adding a new way to developers partnering with the streaming service. Stadia is making income through Stadia Pro subscribers, so only pro subscribers. According to an interview with GameIndustry.biz, 70% of all monthly revenue generated by pro subscriptions will be split between developers based on how many session days players have spent on a developer's games. Session days is their metric to spot who's playing the game's majority of that one day. Half in the morning, half at night, or if it's 2 times throughout the day, that includes 1 session day, by session days. And they get 70% of all the revenue from pro subscribers. It sounds good, but who has a pro membership? So they're saying, come with us, and whoever has pro membership, you'll get 70% out of the cut. Okay? Then there is this. And Stadia Pro gives subscribers access to a library of streamable games for a monthly fee, similar to other services like Xbox Game Pass. One user playing a game once a day counts as a session day. However, if they play a game twice in one day, that is still only 1 session day. So it's within the day. If there's 2 games playing, like if you're talking about multiple games, and they play within that time frame, that's a session day to get to pay. So then is another one. That goes out into 2022. Okay. In the same interview, Google also said that it introduced a limited 85/15 revenue split for titles sold individually on the Stadia store starting this year, October 1st.
Up until the end of 2023.
And then it ends at 2023. Hence, the person that was reaching out, and we're going back and forth on our Twitter, we mentioned that, they're going to be in here to 2023. If they're successful, and based on what they're pitching, it doesn't seem like they're really in a great space. They state that they will still be in the game, behind the scenes, like I said before. But I don't think this is good to entice these developers. It's not good enough, especially something that has growing pains and still has growing pains currently.
Exactly.
Okay. The company will also introduce an affiliate marketing program for Stadia Pro partners in the first half of 2022. In an interview earlier this year with the GameIndustry.biz, Stadia developers marketing lead Nate and Heuer said that the service is alive and well. Of course, to make all the investors, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so 85-15 split. 85%, 15 split. 85 to those and 15 to Stadia.
It's similar to what they do in Apple and Google.
In a way, but the thing is, with Stadia, they have money to put out. They have Google and then they have Alphabet. Alphabet is literally Google, just with another name for different industries. They got guap. They got money. They got lots of dough. Okay? So the fact that they are pitching this and not realizing the potential, and these developers are kind of skittish, Stadia is now making it easier for them to still dive in. But 70% of all the pro subscribers, that's not a lot.
Well, it depends on,
And if they are pro subscribers. If they're not, then that whole entire term is out the window. Now, October 1st, they're saying all the partner affiliates, if you rock with me, you can get an 85% share. Only up until 2023.
And also,
there's not showing a breakdown.
Exactly. And also what they're saying too is that I guess they'll give them like a link, and if they get the pro membership through their game, they'll be able to get $10 for each player that does that. But they are not able to get paid out on that until they reach $500. So that means they need to get at least 50 people to do that for them to get paid out that money. It's like they're doing one like kind of good thing, and then they'll be like, but you have to do this first in order for that to happen. It's like,
I get it.
I mean, I get it. I get why they do it.
If you're already successful and you're trying to boost more.
Exactly.
For instance, if Tim Sweeney did that, something totally different. Instead of paying a buttload of money for a 2-week exclusive, what if Tim Sweeney said, hey, look, you can get all of our advertisements here and get this, and that. And every sale of this game, you can get this with cut. It makes sense if you're established.
But
You're talking about a big company, Stadia, that totes big sack with nothing to show for it besides technology. Mm-hmm. Go behind the scenes and let a major company go to Sony and let them use your technology.
Because you have
Just
a great
stop doing the games.
Because you have a great technology, you do. But you're doing an awful job at selling it and trying to get people to join it.
I'm saying because again they were like, hey, look, it's gonna stay out because they reached agreements in 2023. They didn't reach no agreement in 2023. They said whoever messes with them can get the benefits of what they're offering up until 2023, and we'll make sure that they won't die then. But I'm gonna say they won't even last that long. 6 months to 1 year. They're still gonna be done because if that is gonna it might be a year because by December or January they might flop. Or maybe Q1 they might flop, which is what? April 1st? Because once they realize...
Yeah, by April 1st is Q1, yeah.
Yeah, so October 1st kicks in and nobody's going to sign up for that? VGA Awards, bet you nothing will be showing up for Stadia. Just because there's a trailer and they're going to show Stadia in the side, it doesn't mean everybody's going to go for that one little Stadia.
No, they're going to go for the Xbox or the PlayStation.
Because they already have it. And then the Xbox Game Pass, they already have it. They already paid for it. And they can play it on the iPhone, they can play it on the Android, they can play it on the damn Chrome browser, they can play it on the Xbox, they can play it on the Xbox Series S or the Xbox One or the Xbox One X.
They're going to go for that.
They'll go for that versus Stadia. And because in order for you to play that, you got to get a pro membership. Why am I going to get a pro membership if I already have the console box? If you have an Xbox, you already know Stadia is not going to go to Xbox players. Because you can have a low-end Xbox and still rock with Game Pass. You don't even need to worry about it. Because they don't have first-party titles. That's their problem. They don't have 2 or 3 Stadia front games. Because every game they're going to release that goes with Stadia is more than likely going to go to Game Pass.
I think most of them are already.
Most of them are. I would wish it would be the same thing for PlayStation with the PlayStation Now service, but no, they're not. They just have retro and some.
They're not up to date.
No,
yeah.
But for Game Pass, I swear to you, they will. That's why Stadia needs to go with Sony behind the scenes to make their product more robust and utilize their offerings.
Exactly.
And put Stadia, put it to the side. Because what they're offering right now seems cool, but who's going to buy into that? I don't think nobody will.
We'll find out once October 1st comes around, and we'll see what
October
companies
1st in 2 months, because holidays kicking in. You'll see all these developers. We'll see.
We'll see.
The clear indications watching VGA Awards on December and seeing how it looks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious, but
yeah,
I don't think this is going to save them. I don't. They're grasping at straws right now. They're so
and that's
desperate.
what I'm thinking. This whole
they're
thing,
so desperate right now.
They're so desperate. I'm saying again, 6 months to a year. All I'm saying.
They're just trying
hard, really hard. So we're gonna dive into Netflix because Netflix apparently was in the news because they said they're gonna be diving in some games next year.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
So they decided they hired Mike Verdu, who is formerly of EA and Facebook/Oculus.
Yeah.
They hired him for Vice President of Game Development.
For Netflix.
For Netflix.
Make no damn sense.
So pretty much with that, and then Netflix announced that sometime next year, they didn't even give a date. They just said sometime next year, they're going to be adding a game service to their thing, which I'm assuming will be similar to streaming like, Luna, Stadia, Xbox
Well,
Live,
it's gotta
similar
be.
to that.
I don't think they're gonna come up with a box.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
going
a
to be
dongle,
something
worst
similar to that. They haven't given too much details about it, but first, it was just random that just came out.
Yeah,
it's like
and you know what?
Netflix, but the thing is, the reason they're doing this because they said themselves. They want to be, something like Disney. They want to be a huge thing. They don't want to just be movies and that's it. They want to be like, TV. Now they want to get into games. They want to get into music. They want to get into everything. They want to be like a huge entertainment thing, like similar to like Disney, Fox, things like that.
Yeah.
They want to get to that level. And I guess them trying to get into games is a starting point to get to that level. But my thing is what I'm worried about is, what games are going to be on this? And is it going to be like, AAA titles like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, things like that? Or is it going to be just like indie titles or titles that like no one really play, or like mobile games but on the TV? Like,
What I could think,
is that what's going to, I don't know.
what I think Netflix can do, because they had the idea with interactive ness in a Netflix service, because some episodes or some movies have interaction where you can just choose what the person's going to do for whoever you're watching. So National Geographic, or this one dude that my son was watching, and you could either choose to have him eat the insect that he's got or throw it away, and both explain the reason why for educational purposes. They have that, and it has a growing fan base enough that Netflix said, okay, what if we could take that and blend it into video game centric movies and episodes? So maybe a Sonic re-release of something that comes out for Netflix,
That
but
would be
includes
pretty
a
cool.
level that maybe comes with a controller or whatever. They could switch it.
And there is a Sonic TV show coming out next year on Netflix.
So hear me out. So a Netflix Sonic game, and then during the course of the story, you'll watch an episode, 15-minute episode. You play the level of what they're at, and then another 15 minutes to complete that episode. They can include those types of games. So put the controller on the side, because it's kind of basic. You could even my TV on my remote control, I can play Need for Speed. Is it Hot Pursuit? It's not Hot Pursuit. It's another.
I
it's
personally
Need for
want
Speed
like an actual controller because I will not
game.
use
Yeah.
like
But
a thing.
they want to make it accessible,
Yeah.
so you could do it on a controller. But they might have more sophisticated TV controllers, and somehow, or get a Netflix controller, or do Bluetooth, connect Bluetooth, so your PS5 or PS4 controller can connect to the TV. Whatever, however they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
How I feel they're going to interact with it is implement games within series or movies.
Well, because
Or have a game because of a movie that came out.
there is like the TV show, like the TV shows Castlevania.
Yes.
They have a series that's official on Netflix.
Yep.
Of course, Castlevania is a huge gaming thing. Witcher, that's another one. That's a gaming thing too. So it's like Sonic, like they're having a Sonic thing next year. So it's a possible. Resident Evil, they just recently released their TV show, which I love.
So if you go ahead and
like,
if you include that,
so it could,
if you watch the movie or watch the episodes,
or the TV's episodes, yeah,
you have access to the game at a discounted rate,
kind of like an advertisement type of thing.
and then you can play it on the actual wherever Netflix device you're on, as long as you have a controller that's connected via Bluetooth.
Now the thing
That
is,
can work.
Now the thing is also, which we'll see because it's still very early in the stages. They said that with the games and stuff, they're not going to raise the price of the Netflix. It's going to keep the same price. I'm hoping that's the case.
But every damn 6 or 8
I don't
months,
know.
they increase the fucking price.
They do. They increase it like every like $1. So I don't know if they're going to try to do that like closer to when it does get released. It's going to increase the price again. They said for now they're not going to. But let's be real. It's Netflix. They've already been increasing the price for years now.
Yeah. So that's my personal feel of how they could attack it, and it's a very good idea.
It's a good idea. I
Because
can see that.
I don't see them being a gaming sector of games.
No, definitely not. No,
They'll just run into what Stadia is.
they'll be
with no
basically they'll be
technology.
doing like Amazon Luma. is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
Things like that.
So it's like them doing that. It doesn't make sense. They have to include. They have to do something that feels homesome. Because Netflix is a series at home. Netflix and chill. Watch at home, and you watch episodes to catch up. Include an interactive. You could choose an interactive, which the interactive could be a game. Mm-hmm. And as long as the controller you're using or a device that's connected via Bluetooth, you can play right then and there. So that's pretty cool to keep your interactive, what you're watching. By watching a Sonic and they go, oh crap, oh I gotta play the game. Oh really? All right, and then, oh cool, oh okay. You know what I'm saying? That who knows?
Who knows?
That's just my idea.
Like I said, we're still very early.
Blend into the brand of Netflix, and Netflix is only episodes and movies.
But it'd be interesting. It's interesting that they're doing this, but I get why they want, because they want to be more than just a movie service or a TV
now they
service.
do. Yeah, they changed the game when it came to the movies and
Of course they did,
bro.
They started off as like freaking a competition to Blockbuster. They killed Blockbuster, and
then they started competing with GameFly was the one that was for games for Netflix.
Yeah.
And then they started competing with every damn digital service that was on the market because, for one, they sent out discs for movies. And
of
then
course,
they said,
I remember. I was with Netflix since the beginning.
Yep.
I had the disc sent to me.
Yep.
I remember.
We were there. We knew.
We knew that, and now it's all digital now.
So when our kids go, oh, they sent discs to you? Yes,
they did. We had to wait. It was an instant gratification. We had to wait for our disc.
And that service was great.
It was. I loved it.
You pay a monthly service.
I was able to watch TV shows that that was not on that was not like available on DVD that I could readily get. Like I used to get Sonic the Hedgehog, the TV show.
Yep.
I used to get the disc for that. So it's like it was cool to have. It was cool to get that.
So they grew up. Shouts out to Netflix. Y'all grew up. And I get what they mean to do with the gaming, but they got to do it nice so it grows in adoption.
I'm sure more.
And then maybe once they do that, my idea. What if now a game, maybe a developer is only going to make a game exclusive for Netflix, and you have to watch half the season to play half the game and complete. You know what I'm saying? So they could really make it interactive. Like, yo, I got to watch this. I want to play this game.
It would be very interesting.
That would be nuts, right? Just thinking ahead because you know how companies get. They got one thing they need to.
That would be crazy.
So now we're gonna go, kind of switch gears of a rumor / who the hell's gonna pick it up and make it happen? Because then it'll be cool because it has a cult following. Surprisingly, a cult following compared to Final Fantasy VII. We're talking about Final Fantasy X3, baby, as a rumor. And the reason why I say rumor is they were questioned via interview on, do you think it's feasible to get a Final Fantasy X3 going? Judging Final Fantasy VII's popularity, how Sephiroth and Super Smash Bros., they got a cult following with Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy X, don't forget about them. It's really nice.
I love 2.
Really
and
nice
I actually
game.
like 2 too. Like 10 too. I love 10 too also.
Great game. So, and with a vast storyline. So it's like, it's not one storyline and done like most of the Final Fantasies. Mm-hmm. It's funny because they tie in certain Final Fantasies that have longer storylines. You know what I'm saying? So like Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were just games.
Uh-huh.
Final Fantasy 6 just games. That Final Fantasy 7 came out, revolutionary.
Of course.
And then it's so popular. It got movies. It got like
spinoffs. Ton of spinoffs.
But why? It's because they had a good storyline and great character development. It's fucking nuts, dude. Like,
yeah, they do.
It's a great game, right? Final Fantasy 8 came out. That was like, oh, after 7, it's gonna be hot.
And I loved 8. That was one of my favorites.
And Final Fantasy 8 is hot, but it didn't catch like Final Fantasy 7.
No.
Then Final Fantasy 9 showed little midget dudes. It was great.
It was cute. It was a cute story. It was.
And it didn't catch on. They was trying to grasp.
It also came out the tail end of PS1 where PS2 was about to come out and all that.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, and it was great when it wrapped, but it's not the same. If you were to release a Final Fantasy 7 movie in theaters versus a Final Fantasy 9 in theaters, what do you think is going to sell well?
Well, obviously 7.
But if you want to release a movie for Final Fantasy 8 versus a Final Fantasy 9, what do you think is going to sell well?
Probably 8.
8 will.
I would think.
8 will.
Yeah.
Because Final Fantasy 9 can't go down like Illumination Minion type development. It cannot.
Well, remember, Final Fantasy 9 is getting a cartoon TV show, though.
The cartoon.
They're getting a cartoon, though. So that'll be interesting.
So that's better. Not a movie.
No.
Just a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because every game could segue to a certain different entertainment sector. Final Fantasy 9 was Final Fantasy 9. Little dudes. Ha, ha, ha. So you're not going to make them like, little dude. No, they're just going to go, little TV show. Final Fantasy 7 on the other hand. Final Fantasy 8 on the other hand with the sword with the gun. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's great. 10. is a fantastic one.
Oh, I love that
Because he got
game.
the personality, right?
Yeah.
He's got the sports sector. He's got funny companions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, he has a deep story with his father and all this stuff. Seymour, he's cool, but then he's terrible and mean. But like, you know what I'm saying? That
was an
could be a
interesting
movie.
That
It's a
could be.
great sector for a Final Fantasy game, right?
Yeah.
So a storyline was made already. It's done. So we know, because you said it was a rumor. No, the story is done. They have the go of what needs to happen next 3.
But
Nobody won't attack it.
yeah,
Maybe yet. We don't know.
Well, the thing is, right now they're focusing on the remake.
Yes.
They're focusing on
Finish it up for the remake.
because you know that's gonna be years.
Don't
It's gonna
rush
be
the remake.
Don't rush the
rush the
remake.
remake.
I want the remake to be amazing.
Yes.
If we're waiting this long, I don't mind waiting, but don't fuck it up.
Yeah, don't fuck up the remake.
No, I want to be able to.
We just went over the moneymaker, shake moneymakers of Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy 7 is one of them. Do not
Yes.
fuck it up.
No. We'll wait for part 2, part 3, whatever. We'll wait for them. Just make them the best thing you can make.
So with Final Fantasy X3, they have it. They haven't attacked it, and it's a possibility.
Yeah, because they did do like a little sequel to the X2. It was called 2.5.
Which I'm not even familiar with.
It's a novel, actually.
That's why I'm not familiar
It
with
wasn't released as a game. It was a novel.
Oh, it's a novel.
And then they also released another one, but that was only an audio novel.
Jeez.
That's so basically it takes place directly after 2.0. That's why it's called 2.5.
Yeah.
But these pretty much was setting up for what X3 was going to be.
Yeah. In which, again, X3 is written in stone to start it off. They just need the support. And maybe the 2.5 and the 2.7s and the 2.8s that came out wasn't really catching fire. But it does show that there is some motivation behind it. So they are able to do it. Do it! Just after Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 is done and completed. And if you can do Part 3, that's fine. It's fine.
Which I'm pretty sure is going to be part 3. Let's be real.
No, it could be a Part 2 and call it a day. It make it a whole big-ass game. If they make Call of Duty 200 gigabytes worth of damn data, they could do that shit with Final Fantasy 7. I'll wait another year.
But do you know how long that would take for them to make it?
Not long. They make a big
Do you know
ass...
how big Final Fantasy 7 is?
You know what? It is fucking
And
huge.
you know how much they're adding to it, too?
Yeah. They're only adding just to smooth out the storyline a little bit more. You know what?
They're going to add more to the
Bro,
thing.
Final Fantasy... I didn't know about, like, the split in time and shit like that until Final Fantasy 7. Maybe that always happened on the original one.
I believe they added that.
I think they only added it to smooth it out because we don't know who the fuck Zack is. Fuck Zack.
Well, remember,
Not my friend, but fuck Zack. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he was in Final Fantasy 7. Didn't really explain who the hell he was. Then realized Cloud
they
could be
did
a clone.
explain him in Crisis Core.
That's a
and all
spinoff.
that. Yeah.
But I'm still confused. But maybe because of the game, they show like near the end when you fight, you beat the game. You beat it, right?
Yes, of course. Obviously, yeah.
You got Bahamut and Leviathan?
I finished everything.
Fuck you. I want to. I didn't get Bahamut.
You know I'm a completionist and all that.
I know, and it's funny because I wanted to. I completed, and then I have Aerith at the simulation, and she's fucking useless. So I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm not gonna do it
It took
anymore.
me forever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hated using her.
So yeah, that's why I'm like, oh my god, she's useless. I might have to deal with this, and I might have to suck it up and do it because. And I play Integrate. Did you crack open Integrate?
Not
yet?
yet. I have not
She's
had a
fucking
chance.
useless.
I haven't had a chance.
She's
to.
fucking
I'm sorry.
useless.
Yeah,
She's super weak.
I saw
bro.
you play with her. I was like, oh my god, she's that weak.
She's
I'm gonna be
fucking
so
terrible.
annoyed with that.
Sorry, this is supposed to be made for kids. She's
I
fucking
know.
terrible.
I'm gonna be so annoyed by that.
My thing is with Cloud, I have a big ass amount of HP on the Final Fantasy 7 with HP up materia. I have like 4 of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hook up all she's gonna learn is Cure and just HP up so she can fucking survive. She sucks, bro. Like it's terrible. I don't know how I'm gonna grind. She can't even survive right. Whatever. I digress. So they have the start. They can make it finish Final Fantasy 7 remake. That's it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
let me continue to run down the potential moneymakers. We got Final Fantasy 7, potentially Final Fantasy 8. Because I feel Final Fantasy 8 could be a sneak attack. It'll be
see.
great. It
We'll
could be
see.
a great remake and a story. It could be great. Final Fantasy 9 has a story, has a little
Like I said, it's cute.
No, it's
it's
cute
not my favorite of the series,
10,
but it's cute.
we hope 10 expands, and it does seem like that because they're going to have a sequel, which would be great. We're not asking for a remake. We just want a sequel. Final Fantasy 11.
It's MMORPG, so...
No. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. Yeah, so...
12.
12.
I like the story, but I hated the battle system.
I was... Yeah.
The battle system I was not a fan of.
I'm not familiar with that both. I was
The story I enjoyed, but the battle system I was just, no.
Final Fantasy 13, I feel that she can make her a badass.
They
could be a Netflix
The funny
special
thing is,
of
I
her.
know a lot of people did not like that series game for some reason, but
Really?
I actually enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah.
And how so?
It's because I know people had issues with it because it was too linear. They said it was
Yes,
way
they said it
too
was
linear until the end when it finally opened up. But I personally didn't have an issue with that, and I actually enjoyed the characters and all that. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
But I understand where people were having issues. But having
Final
a movie
Fantasy
of
7
that,
is linear too.
it was a little more open because they had a lot of side quests and things like that.
Really? So Final Fantasy 13 was that linear? It was
It-
funny because I
it
played
was-
it,
it
and
was
it
very
was.
linear.
It was.
It was
but-
very linear.
But I felt Final Fantasy 7 Remake was kind of the same way, but then you still have options to digress from the
Exactly.
storyline and do it. And Final Fantasy 13 didn't.
Not too much, except until the end,
Oh, yeah.
like the last area.
Popular Netflix. Netflix could dive into that, partner up with Square Enix.
That would be cool.
Get a Event Children Type 13, explain more of the story. Then they could get the game to play right on Netflix. Cloud, like cloud streaming, not cloud. Final Fantasy 7, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So watching a Final Fantasy 13 movie and then getting the game to kind of get you hit.
That would be
Right?
pretty cool. I will say that.
I swear, Netflix has to do that to make it feasible because they can't just add games
Yeah.
like Stadia and expect people to just go to Netflix to get that game. No,
You're doing exactly what Stadia is doing. Look how badly they're failing.
you're not gonna, I don't want them to be reaching. They have to include it to something that they know it's gonna be popular. Final Fantasy 14.
That was an MMORPG, but I know you played that one.
And I played it, and I still don't want to play because they still have to pay $30 a month. My wife would kill me. No,
Is it $30 a month?
I think it's 30.
I thought it was like 15.
Could be. I wish it was 7. Then maybe I could do it. But 15 for that only? Oh, nah. But Final Fantasy 14 is popular. It's way better than 11,
And
apparently.
15 was good.
And 15, I feel that they could make a movie out of 15.
It was
'cause
good.
They have
It was
the
pretty good,
personalities
yeah.
that are quite hilarious.
I enjoyed the
I
characters.
feel that game is more tedious. It's very tedious. I want to people up. I don't want to be fishing and cooking fish and salmon to get some sort of HP. Going
I
down
did
the
like
damn
the
canyon
battle
to get my ass
system, though.
whooped.
I did like the battle system, though.
Yes, battle system is good.
It was a lot more fluid. It still had RPG elements, but
Yes.
it was very fluid,
Yeah.
too.
So
And then
And then
16 looks interesting.
16 looks interesting.
We'll see
So,
how that... We still
again,
don't know too much about that
Square
one.
Enix has, and for the respect of Squaresoft, has great Final Fantasy titles. Some are movie episodic friendly and can gain more replay value.
Uh-huh.
But do not bring down Final Fantasy as a Final Fantasy for one Final Fantasy game and make it a whole Final Fantasy thing. So, for instance,
Exactly.
don't make all the Final Fantasies become Final Fantasy 7. Don't make it become Final Fantasy 10. By just
Exactly.
rocking with it and just milking the crap out of it. I can tell they're already milking Final Fantasy 7, but they still made Final Fantasy 16, 15, 14, 13. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they're not depending on one. I do not want Square Enix to depend on just some Final Fantasy titles. Mm-hmm. So let's hope that becomes into fruition. Hopefully the X3 becomes something. Not too soon. We don't want to rush it. So let's give another title here. Let's talk about some quick things. Persona 25th anniversary.
So, this year is the 25th anniversary of Persona, which I'm a huge fan of.
Yes, you
ever
speak on that
since the
because
beginning.
I am not familiar.
Oh, I'm
I'm
very...
not going to have you speed it up, but I want you to because we have a lot of topics today.
Oh, yeah, don't worry.
But you are. A
It's
fan
pretty
of Persona,
simple, it's
so
pretty simple.
Hit me with this 25th anniversary.
So
What's
it's the
it include?
25th anniversary. This is the 25th anniversary since the game out. The first game called Revelations Persona came out back in the PS1. Now, with this, that they haven't announced anything, a huge bunch of new ones yet, but they did announce that a bunch of merches will be coming out, clothes, posters, keychains, and plushies featuring all the protagonists and like different characters of the games, including ones from the first two Persona games, which rarely we ever get any merchandise at all for that, which is amazing, which that's what I love about that. Hearing about that got me excited because, yeah, there's a lot of Persona 5 merchandise, even a lot of Persona 4 merchandise. 3, there are some, but not so much, but 1 and 2, they never get merchandise, at least not around in America. But it's cool that they're having that. Now, they haven't announced any new titles yet, but starting in September of this year up until 2022 of fall, they're going to have 7 total announcements of the games, of different kind of Persona games, either main series or side series or like, you know, all those type of games, which is pretty awesome. We don't know if they're going to be announcing any like actual games, maybe spin-off games, or any like, you know, anime, because there are animes of the Persona games too. Persona 4 and 5 have animes on them, and 3 too, I believe. And now, so they're going to announce it, and the first one's going to start in September. And of course, rumors are getting spread around. Some people are saying they're doing remakes of the first 2, which will be really cool because they did. The first and the second one came out for the PS1, and then they re-released it for the PSP. They didn't really do too much on the graphics end. They just kind of just re-released it. But of course, they are great games, and now they're super hard to find, especially the PS1 version and the PSP version. They're super expensive. And the Persona 2 came in 2 parts, which for the PS1, we only got one of the parts. The other part came out in Japan only, while the PSP got both of the parts, but like I said, expensive. So it would be cool to see if they could do a remake of those 2 games, which that would be one of the big things. And now another one, which we kind of knew this was going to happen, but of course, they haven't announced anything yet. They have a set of graphic cards that the part of it for the promotion, and they have all the main protagonists on the game, and there's one empty one right where Persona 6 protagonists possibly could be at. So, pretty sure out of all these titles that are going to be coming out, that Persona 6 will probably most likely be one, because right now, currently, it is around the time when, you know, Persona 4 came out, and then Persona 5 was announced, and then was released. So around this time, we can see, possibly in September, possibly by the end of this year, who knows? Like I said, there's 7 announcements that's going to be from September of this year to fall of next year. So that's going to be, I would think, announced. And hopefully, either in September, the first one's going to be announced, or name of the other ones could be announced, that a Persona 6 will be announced. And I know me and my friend group, a lot of my friend groups are huge fans of the series, will be super excited. We loved 5 so much, so a 6 one's going to be awesome. And some of the other spin-offs that they have done in the past, which would be cool if they added for like other games. Of course, they could be doing a new dancing game too, which that was a popular one. They also did what it was called Persona Q, which was kind of similar to like Etrian Trail, which is like a dungeon crawler type of thing, like classic dungeon type of crawler. So they could be doing something like that. Like I said, anime is a possibility. It's a huge number of possibilities, but it's just crazy that it's been 25 years since the first Persona game came out. Like, I'm a huge fan. I didn't think I played the first 2, but I didn't really like, got into a fan of it. I didn't really become like an actual fan until 3 came out. And that's when I played that. Loved the whole story, the characters, the monsters I freaking love, because it's so creative with how the monsters is, because it's so like dark, but I love how creative that they got. So it's just like, I am super excited. Another one that they can release too, which just thought about this just now because I remembered they did that for 3 and 4, is a fighting game. I don't know if you guys remember Persona Ultra Mix that came out for the PS3, and I think they did a re-release on the PS4. It was pretty much a fighting game similar to, BlazBlue, Street Fighter, and all that type of stuff. Guilty Gear. Similar to that kind of style, which that would be a pretty cool game to announce for the system too. So, but like I said, 7 whole announcements. So it's going to be interesting to see what they will release, especially since it'll be actually pretty cool. So the next one I definitely want to talk about. It's pretty. I was a little miffed about this because it was one of the few other titles that that the PS5 was supposed to get, but it did not happen. Was Bethesda's Ghostwire Tokyo. The game that was announced back in 2019, it was really cool. It was like a very futuristic type of game. Takes place in, of course, futuristic Tokyo. Pretty much the story. It's not really a horror game. It's more of like a first person action title game. But it just got announced that it's getting delayed to 2022. Originally, it was supposed to come out for the PS5 exclusive. I believe it was a limited time exclusive because obviously, Xbox has Bethesda now, similar to Deathloop. Another one's going to be kind of like a semi-exclusive until they figure out their situation, and then they'll be released. So it's probably going to be like a year after it's released. But still, so far, it is coming out for the PS5, but looks like it's going to get delayed to early 2022. They didn't really give an exact reason why, which is kind of weird that they didn't give an exact reason why they did. But I'm kind of curious. It's possibly because, pandemic pretty much messed everyone up. So it's kind of trying to figure out situations. And that was the only way that they can try to make sure that they can release a game, because they want to make sure this game is good, because there are the ones who the company is Tango Gameworks, which is it's owned by Bethesda, obviously. They're the ones who made the first 2 of The Evil Within, which, in my opinion, I actually enjoyed the games. I enjoyed 2. Was it 2 I enjoyed more? I think I enjoyed 2 more. I haven't played the games in a while. I think I enjoyed 2 a little more than 1, but they were both pretty good games, and I, enjoyed it. And I'm hoping we'll see their take on a first-person action game, because since those other 2 games were horror games, so this is not it's not gonna be a horror game. It's gonna be an action game, even though the premise of the game is kind of suspenseful thing. I mean, the whole point of it is 99% of Tokyo's population just vanished, and it's your job trying to figure out what happened, what caused it, and all. That's pretty much the whole point of the game, which, I mean, yeah, it's kind of has a horror sci-fi element to it, but I think it's going to focus more on the action, at least from what I saw in the trailers and everything like that. So I'm pretty excited about this game. I'm a little bummed that it's coming out It's coming out later, but like I said, I don't mind games being delayed as long as they, make them better, make them, actually good, and hopefully it'll actually be good game, even though it got delayed. We'll see, because it's like I said, it's one of Bethesda's things that's getting declined. So I'm gonna switch off to another topic, but hold on 1 second. I think the next one that I will be talking about would be the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which this kind of came out of nowhere for me, because I don't know if people who know me or not, but I love Nick. I grew up with Nick. I grew up watching all the cartoons, Rugrats, Angry Beavers, Hey Arnold, Arrow Monsters, Doug, all that. I grew up with all that, and I loved watching them so much. So when I heard about this, It's pretty much going to be a Smash Brothers style type of fighting game, similar to, of course, Smash Brothers, and of course the PlayStation All-Stars, which the one that came out for the Sony back in the day. So it was pretty cool that they're actually going to be releasing this game. They said it's actually going to be releasing sometime fall this year. It's going to be released on pretty much everything: PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and the Switch. And they haven't announced every single character because they show like a bit of a trailer, but they have. It's going to be Nigel from the Wild Thornberry, Dan and Phantom, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because you know Nickelodeon owns them now. Patrick, Sandy, they're going to have Ren and Stimpy, which I love, Oblina from Our Real Monsters, Helga, Reptar, Zim from Invader Zim. They're going to have pretty much all the characters, which I'm pretty excited about. The only thing I'm a little worried is how some of the characters look. They kind of look a little, what's the word? I guess lack of a better term, plasticky, which I'm a little worried on how that's going to look. But yeah, that's why I'm a little worried about how that's going to look, but we'll see how it's going to work. But I do like the fact that it's kind of like a Smash clone, because we do need more of those titles out there.
Yeah,
and they use like the Nickelodeon characters.
PlayStation?
Yeah, the PlayStation All-Stars, yeah.
PlayStation All-Stars, yeah.
Yeah, so they were talking about that, so it was actually pretty cool that they're doing this. Just to let you know, I also talked about Bethesda's Ghostwire, because I had to Okay, so, but yeah, I'm excited for this, but like I said, I'm a little worried how the graphics look, but like I said, the first trailer just released a couple of days ago, so hopefully we'll get more, but I do like the fact that I get to be able to play as my child, because like I said, you know, I watch Nickelodeon all the time.
Yeah.
It was like one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, and I watch so much of that, so I'm excited for this. I'm definitely going to try it out, so I might buy it, who knows, might buy it first day, might not, but I definitely want to see it, because if it's a Smash Bros. Clone and plays exactly like Smash Bros.
Yeah, to see the little special moves and see what they have.
Exactly, because I'm kind of curious how they're going to do it with each of the Nickelodeon characters, how it pertains to their TV shows.
Now let's talk quickly about this, which again, this is some topic that you know, and I didn't really dive into, but I know it sold a lot of money, and that's a sealed copy of the Super Mario 64.
Yes, so pretty much. I also got an update about what happened also with the Legend of Zelda, because remember that was last week.
Yep.
So that was originally, it got sold for $870,000, the unsealed copy of the original Legend of Zelda. That got sold for $870,000. Now, the next day, they did like an auction for a sealed copy of Super Mario 64, which they call, it was like a 9.8%, which means it's like mint, no issues with it at all. Guess how much they sold that for? They sold it for $1.56 million. $1 million for one game, which it's unheard of for something like this. It pretty much damn near doubled what Legend of Zelda sold for originally, which was crazy. And of course, a lot of people had some conspiracy theories saying that is this some kind of like money laundering type of thing? Is this some kind of people just like could be just like trying to hide money, trying to money back and forth, trying to do it sneakily in this way, because a lot of a lot of shady things do things like this. So that's why it's like, why it's sold for so much? So much people have questions about it, and of course people were looking and say who bought it? Who would actually spend this kind of money on it?
Just like that Wu-Tang investor that surprisingly got locked up. He bought it for so much money, and then I guess he got locked up. What was going to happen to that? I don't know what price tag he had.
I forgot the name. It was like $1 million, right?
Mark something. It was $1 million over a Wu-Tang. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was crazy how this sold for $1.56 million for an unsealed copy, which it was just crazy. It's like people are thinking it's shady and all that type of stuff, but They said that the company themselves, which is the same auction house, it's called Heritage Auctions.
Yeah.
They said that it was a legit buyer, and it was like they didn't want to give out the name because obvious reasons, that kind of money.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like it's a little bit shady, but it's kind of cool that something like that happened. I will say it's a little bit shady. Just a tad bit shady, I will say. Just a tad bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it might get disclosed. He could be doxxed and his information could just come out. Did we talk about the Super Mario Bros. Situation?
Oh, you mean the one by ID thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll bring up
So
that one here too as well. There's a lot of you topics this week, huh?
Yeah.
I had the two ones, and we dove into it, but this is all like niche, but
yeah, it's very
newsworthy.
niche titles, but yeah, for me this was actually pretty cool because I love preservation, so that's why I love this topic. So, back in 1990, id Software, which you guys know makes the Doom games, created a demo of the original Super Mario Bros. 3 game for the PC, which is huge because Nintendo games never go on the PC. So they literally created a demo of the first world from Super Mario 3 onto the PC Engine, which what was so spectacular about this, because this came out back in 1990, and they made all the screens very smooth, because usually when you play PC games at that time it was very jagged. It was like it wasn't smooth moving or anything like that, but they was able to make it smooth, make it work pretty much like it was working on a NES title. Originally, this game was lost because it was just a demo. They just wanted to test it. It was originally lost. But then, back in 2015, they released a video of them playing the demo of the game, which it was not released. It was just a video. I believe it was I think it was like Vimeo or something like that. They released a video. It was strange. It just came out of nowhere. But it was cool that something like that existed. Now, these years later, in Rochester, New York, there's a museum called the Strong National Museum of Play, located in Rochester, New York. They received the game, which is the demo of the game, by an anonymous individual, unnamed individual, which they know that he was a game developer, but they don't know if they actually focus on making the game of this game or if he was just found it randomly, because you know how people find things like this randomly, like during like attics, like hidden away and things like that. But they were given that to the museum, and now the museum has it, which is pretty cool. John Romero is the one who made it and then shared it with back in 2015. So it was pretty cool that they released it now. The museum is not going to let the public see it, at least not yet, but they will let them be able to preview it or review it. If you are doing research on it, they will let you be able to, I guess, technically rent it out, I guess they would call, for research, as long as you request a form in order for them to release it to you. Like I said, things like this I love because I love the fact that they'll be able to get stuff that originally wasn't released or you thought was lost in time, and they have it out there, so now you know it actually exists, which is pretty cool. And I love the fact that they are doing that, and I'm hoping that more and more things from the past gets released. Maybe even if it's at museums or at like places, it will be fantastic that they would do that. That's what I would love that. So.
Right. Sorry, I had to attend to something real quick. So that's the Super Mario deal going on here. Now, oh my God, I just launched something that's okay. Put me here first and foremost. Do we have one more topic left? What we got here? No, because you already talked about the Zelda, right?
No, not yet.
The Legend of Zelda one.
Oh no, not yet.
Really? Didn't talk about that one.
No, not yet.
Damn, that's a U title again. Jeez.
Well, that's the one where the man was arrested, right?
Oh yeah, he did the what do you call it?
He modded the games of Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild, so he modded it so people will be able to get all the rare items quicker, be able to get their, Link more powerful and all
Yep.
that. His name was Ichiman Sho, and he was arrested because Japan has a huge rule on doing things
they have
like
a law
that.
in place that doesn't allow such ways of making money off of property, and he got locked up, got arrested.
Exactly. So he got arrested. They didn't say exactly for how long, but he sold them for $31 each, the mods, and he made $90K over the past year and a half just trying
on
to
those.
sell it.
And the fact that they have those to buy them is kind of ridiculous.
Exactly.
But what are you gonna do? It's a market. They exploited it.
People were buying.
And people were buying at the end of the day. So
That's
to be
the
honest with
thing.
you, he seen the opportunity. He went to go about it. He did his thing, but he did it to the wrong property.
Exactly.
Did it to the wrong property. But it's got name recognition, of course, clearly.
So we can talk about Ubisoft.
Did we?
No, not yet.
Not
we
yet.
can do that
All
right now.
Ubisoft.
So Ubisoft,
Yep.
the games, 2 major games of
Oh,
this
yes, the
got
delays.
delayed.
Oh,
So the first one that got delayed was Riders Republic, which was that extreme sports co-op open world title, which is the one that you'll be able to do like biking, skydiving, all these type of stuff. So that game got delayed from September 2nd to October 28th, so the end of October. And the reason they said they got delayed because they wanted to focus to make sure that the game is good, that it runs good and all that. But they did say they're going to have another open beta test sometime before the release, so it'll be interesting to see how they're going to, do the beta. Because I wonder if there was issues with it, since it was open world, that there was major issues and bugs and that they had to raise. Because, September 2nd was not too far along. So they probably had some issues that they were working, and they had to figure it out. So that's probably what's taking so long. Now, the second game that got delayed, which is even got delayed further into next year, was Rainbow Six Extraction, which was, the new Rainbow Six, which they focus a lot on E3 on this game. And it was an action title game, which originally was another game, but they turned it into a Rainbow Six game, which takes place in the near future. There's a infestation of like zombies and like, ugly creatures and stuff like that. So that got delayed into January 2022, which originally was supposed to come out this year, which is crazy. And they didn't really give a good excuse. Pretty much they said that they wanted to embrace the opportunity to be able to add additional time to this game to make sure this game works great for January 22nd. They didn't give any big details on it. They just literally said that's it. So I don't think both games were ready. They were so excited about it on E3 that I don't think these games were ready. But
Which is sad because, to be honest with you, really announce something that's like, hey, we're gonna do this is gonna come out. By the way, no, it's not.
at least Riders Republic's coming out this year, but it's just crazy that Extraction's coming out next year now. It's like
After they changed the name.
Exactly, they changed the name. They were putting so much hype for it. Because I remember on the Ubi thing, they were putting hype on that. Well, how long was the thing? Like 5-7 minutes on just that game.
Yep.
And it got delayed. So it's like,
Take the trailers with a grain of salt.
exactly. It's just like, okay, so that's interesting.
And it's sad to watch a trailer. Oh, it's great. No release date next year. Or 3 years.
Because it was originally
Like,
supposed to come out this year. It was supposed to come out this year. So much games are getting delayed.
And there's no reason, huh?
No, they didn't give a reason. They said, we're going to want the opportunity to work on the game more.
Man,
Bitch, that's
shut
so
your mouth,
weak.
bro.
That was a
That's a
weak
weak-ass response.
At least Riders had a better
Yeah,
thing.
right? Oh, my God.
I was just like, are you kidding me? That's weak. Weak.
Weak sauce, bruh. weak sauce.
Because I don't know that was one of their major titles.
So let's. You already talked about Ghostwire Tokyo. Right?
Yeah, I already talked about that one already.
So let's dive into the Resident Evil.
Oh,
I think
yes.
that's the last topic of the day. We're gonna see some breaking news here.
Yeah.
But right now, Resident Evil is in the mix, and people are not happy.
Oh, not at all, because this came out of nowhere.
Everything came out of nowhere today, from the Steam tablet, Steam Deck.
These things are just
to these
coming
random
out.
ass rumors of things getting pushed out to a random sequel of a storyline that's baked in, that's ready to go, but they're gonna wait until see if it's happening.
They just like
Netflix
they just like
randomly. Yeah, this week's been a random week of news.
Exactly. They just like to just say things. This is funny. But yeah, Resident Evil Reverse, which was the multiplayer of Resident Evil, which was attached to Resident Evil Village, and people who bought Village gets this game for free. It was originally supposed to come out July, this month, and then announced literally like 2 days ago. Got delayed to next year. No specific date.
Next year?
No specific date.
Whoa! I thought it was supposed to be delayed for like a couple of months. Next year?
They didn't even give a date. They said 2022.
What the hell happened?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Because it literally came out of nowhere.
Who announces something that's going to be a part of a game before release, and then they're thinking, all right, I got the game, I'm going to get it on July, and then not August, not September, not November, but next year?
Next year. And they didn't even say like January next year, February next year. They said 2022. That's a huge issue.
That's messed up, man.
So pretty much, they didn't give it a reason. They didn't even give a reason why.
It's sad, and we're going to figure that out by internals.
They
Watch.
did not give a reason why. This is probably going to be leaked on why.
Freedom of Information Act. Something's going to
So
go down.
it's just like,
Something
oh my
happened.
God. So now, all the people who got the game, they get a code for it on the game, the little paper slip, that gets you free access to this game.
Yeah.
They're telling people to either keep that paper, which is a little ass paper.
Or you could just take a picture of it.
Or you could do that too. Or you could put it into your PS5 or 4 or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it'll come on as soon as it things.
Yeah.
But that is bull. Don't give us a reason.
And they gave you codes to download it. Like
They have the codes to download. They said they were ready, and then all of a sudden it was.
I get it if it was a skin or like a gun to be
It's
added
a
to a game that's
mode.
going to be
It's a
pushed out because of a
multiplayer
game-breaking
mode.
bug. But a whole damn mode to change the whole experience to be pushed out? Do you think maybe it's something that people didn't want and they might scrap it by the end of the road?
I don't know because
that doesn't make any sense.
Because they
bro.
released a beta testing of it back
Yeah.
in April, and from what I'm hearing, I think people liked it. So it can't be that. So I'm thinking there was a major ass bug that happened, and they have no idea how to fix it.
Or I like how you caught the mic and you put it right there, and they don't know how to fix it.
And they don't know how to fix it. That's
You know
what
I
I'm
think it is?
thinking.
It could have been, or maybe they said that maybe it's not running on one console and not the other. We don't want to pull a Cyberpunk.
Which, I mean, it's a good idea, but the thing is, it was supposed to come out this month, and then just decide right in the middle of the month, oh, it got delayed to next year.
Next year,
You'll figure
though,
it
like,
out. You'll figure it out.
How? Yeah, right. Y'all figure out. Y'all got the codes. Just take a picture of it. Yeah, y'all got iPhones and
God, I
Androids.
was
You'll
like,
be good.
I was just like, because I really don't play multiplayer, but I felt bad for the people because there was a lot of people excited for this.
Especially for Resident Evil to become.
It was a multiplayer. It was
Yeah.
like a multiplayer type of thing, and people were excited for it, and I was excited for those people. But I was just like,
I was
as soon
excited for all those people.
as they announced, I was like, wow, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. Honestly,
Yeah, that is pretty messed up. Did we talk about the partnership with Mario and?
No, we did not.
Yes, we can talk
So-
about that here.
Tag Heuer, which is a
Heuer,
luxury watch company. They make very expensive watches.
Apparently so.
They did a collab.
Not even smartwatches, right? Now they are.
This one,
Based on an Android platform, I would
This
take
one's
it, huh?
a particular. It's a smartwatch, but they make usually like the classic watches. You know, the classic time watches, the one that takes forever to make.
Yep.
So they released with the Super Mario collab. It's called TIG Super Mario.
Okay.
It's a watch. It looks nice. I'm not gonna out a little bit.
Based on the image here, it does look nice.
It looks nice. Pretty much for when you'll be able to do like running and stuff like that. It'll track on when you're running and stuff like that. And if you reach your goal, 25% Mario eats a mushroom, 75% Mario collects like a superstar, and you'll see that all on the screen, which is kind of cute.
That's funny.
And of course, as you can see with the designs, they have the little mushrooms, they have the little stars on the side. It's black, which is nice. Has some red little details on it.
I wonder if you could import the your kudos in your watch to import it to tied to Nintendo Switch an online platform.
They haven't announced anything like that
Yeah.
yet, so it's pretty. I don't know, but it was started to be sold on July 15th with a very limited of 2,000 in stock, and the price on these.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
$10,000.
It's not that much, Jesus.
Okay. Wasn't a gold iPhone watch, the first edition was $15,000?
Well, yeah, it's gold.
That's why I said 10,000. I'm thinking, oh snap.
It's $2,150.
Okay.
So it's luxury, but it's not like
It's not
ridiculously
that bad.
expensive.
Because there is watches that doesn't have any of
But the
that
thing
swag.
is, those
that
type of
retailers
watches
can sell.
are expensive because the amount of time it makes. This is a smartwatch. That means it has the electronics and stuff.
Yeah.
When you actually buy like the classic watches, the reason why they're so expensive, like $10,000, $8,000, all that type of
Yep.
stuff, is because they take forever to make them.
Yeah.
This is a smartwatch, so it doesn't take that long. So this is expensive for a smartwatch.
Yeah.
But this
absolutely.
would be cheap if it was like one of those made watches.
Yeah.
But I like how it looks. I personally probably won't get one. It's super rare anyway, so it's like only 2,000 was made. I'm sure all the rich people already bought it already.
Yeah,
and all
right.
that.
For 2000, everybody got
Everyone got it already. They only made 2,000.
Yeah.
All the people bought it already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I will say it looks nice for a smartwatch. It does.
It does. It does look cool. And I like how the little niche Nintendo type deal.
Exactly. That's like collabs. I love collabs.
Tencent. Did we talk about that? We did
Oh, not yet. I know that's
Tencent, yes. And what is the deal with them? Because wasn't there? I'm trying to remember. Rebrand my mind.
Yeah, so pretty much they're in the process
remember.
of buying out Crytek,
Yep.
which is the company that made the Crysis games.
If those that are familiar with Crysis was PC and then it ported to the PlayStation and the Xbox when it came out, right?
PS3.
PS3.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then the
Xbox
Xbox
360. It was a very good game. Looked really nice.
Oh, it was really nice.
Really
It was
nice.
a futuristic shooter type of game.
And then when I
It
come to
was nice.
realize that the actual Crytek company has contracts with the military.
Yeah, because they make their simulations.
Yeah.
They focus on doing simulations and stuff. And so Tencent, which you know is owned by the Chinese,
Yeah.
but is buying the company for 300 million yen, which is about $350 million in US dollars.
Yeah.
Now, people
And people
are
meaning most employees and fans of the company.
actually scared because people are saying that the Tencent is not buying it for Crytek and Crysis. They're buying it because they have access, because all these military programs and stuff like that are all used by Western armies.
Yep.
All of them. I don't think all of them, but a lot of them. So, of course, people are saying that, are the Chinese are going to try to sneak their way, try to look through figure out ways and try to get intelligence, try to how are they going to fight this way? Oh, they're going to fight that way? Oh, let me write the secret down.
Yep.
Get secrets. That's what people are afraid of. People who work for Crytek, people who are observing this, they're afraid that that's going to happen.
The employees are saying that they're not buying. They think that this buyout, and once it's greenlit, they're not buying it for the actual game to excel in video games.
And of course,
they could probably use it as a cover, but no, they're buying it because of the technology.
Of
they can
course,
use.
we have to make sure we say these are not 100%. That's what they're rumors and things that has
Take it
happened.
with a grain of salt, but this is from the actual Crytek business structure. The people that make the game are saying, because it doesn't make sense to all that money to buy a game that hasn't been out for quite some time.
Exactly. They don't really have a lot of games. The main title was Crysis.
Yep.
And
now
the third one.
This could be a cybersecurity risk, and if that happens,
this could
all
get.
the Tencent,
It's kind of scary.
properties
Because Tencent's been
go
buying
away.
shit a lot. Remember, they've been
Yeah.
buying a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. They're
They
trying to
have
get their. They've been buying American companies. They've been buying companies from all over the world. Because this company's from Germany.
Yep.
They're a German company.
yeah.
So they're trying to get their hands in all these little companies, and I mean, I'm not trying to say they're trying to take over the thing. I know what you're thinking. I already know exactly what you're thinking. But
really suspect.
I'm not gonna be out. It is a little suspect. It is. It's a little
if they
suspect.
buy this and then they don't do anything as far as video games is concerned, and lay off the studio's no more, and they go right towards simulation and partnering up. That is cybersecurity risk, dudes.
It could get
all
ugly.
I'm saying, get ugly real quick, man.
That's all we have to say.
That sucks because that is the only thing we can say about Tencent.
Yeah,
as far it dives into gaming.
It does, because Tencent is a gaming company.
And Crysis was a great game.
They were good games. I know a lot of people like them, but it was a little, like I said, as soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh.
Just a wee bit concerning.
We'll see.
For our national interests.
But I think that's the last of the story.
That is the last topic we have. I'm going through some breaking news.
Yeah, see if you see any breaking news
here for you guys. By breaking news meaning anything that's really, really hip and new.
That just happened within today.
Yes.
But yeah, there was a lot of great news this week, though.
It really was.
That whole Steam Deck thing kind of threw me out of the loop because I was not expecting that at all.
Which?
The Steam Deck.
Yeah, that took everybody off guard.
Honestly, it seemed like it was going to be a light week. Then all of a sudden, all the news came out from like the end of the week. It was like the Steam Deck. Then all these games getting delayed. And I was like, oh, God. And then, of course, that Resident Evil thing getting delayed. That threw me a whole loop right there. Because it was supposed to come out this month.
Supposed to. Oh, let's see. We talked about it earlier. Uh-oh.
What?
To a Steam Deck pre-order start off shaky. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, like I said, it was a little shaky, but luckily I was able to get it.
Steam collapsed into server errors and other frustrating hiccups.
Yep.
What do you expect?
It was a pre-order of a new system. Of course, I was gonna have. I knew that was
random. That is
it was
mobile.
A lot less painful than PS5 because I was able to at least get a reserve. At least
you did. And it's confirmed, right?
Yeah, they only asked for $5 for a pre-order thing.
Oh, nice.
Which is fine. Yeah, it's confirmed. I got my email, so if they have any questions, I saved my email to make sure because I was like, I have it right here. I want this system.
I think the big news that was Rainbow Six Extraction was delayed to January 2022. So they do have a date.
Yeah, January 20. I said that. Yeah, January 2022.
Not really. I actually kept up with my news today, so I didn't really have enough unread news.
Yeah, I make sure I'm always up to date with my news and make sure.
Slacked out for a teeny weeny bit, but I think.
Well, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Due to some personal concerns I had to take, but
yeah.
I think we're good to go. I think this episode was very, very interesting. Very, very.
It was very good.
Yes, because it's a lot of different random news. That's from Nickelodeon, all-star type deal, to
a new system getting released.
A new system released by Steam, which is a big and an epic CEO Tim Sweeney goes in and congratulates them. Tencent trying to make a cybersecurity risk. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly.
Be careful.
And then you have Stadia trying to do as much as it can to stay alive. That's how I view it. Just staying alive. So, in closing, episode 20 is next week, baby. Okay, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be great. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to us, follow us, and hit the notification bell to understand when we go live, 7:30 p.m. on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, soon TikTok for live. Soon TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Clips and all that will be on TikTok from our live. Again, sharing is caring, like and comment, negative or positive, much appreciated. Killer Wiz, Game Tag. Catch me on the stream. Sometimes I'll be streaming some Call of Duty. I was going to stream Game Pass on the iPad to show and prove what it can do, because I guess a lot of people are saying that it's been kind of back and forth. I'm not going to do that because of personal reasons. We're going to wait for next week, and I've been testing it out myself. It actually is pretty good. I've been playing Forza, I've been playing Halo, I've been playing NBA. I suck at NBA, and Madden 20, which is better than Madden 21. I'm going to say that. Better. Actually was better. But I played on a Game Pass on my iPad on 3 bars of Wi-Fi. But I will test that next week for you guys. So again, make sure, subscribe, follow, like Twitch, Facebook, YouTube.